Okay, so this is one of the stories that I tell my class to encourage them to listen and follow directions. There was a little girl, and she did not always listen to her mother. And her mother asked her one day to stay in the yard and play. Don't leave the yard. Do you promise? And the little girl said, Yes, mommy. Yes, mommy, I promise. So the little girl was playing in her yard and she became bored. And she knew that through the trees that were across the way from her home, there was a house right in the middle of the trees. And her mother always told her, Don't go into the trees. Don't go in to that space where the trees are. You'll get lost. Don't go. And she told her mother, yes, mother, I won't go. Well, she became bored and she decided to go through the trees into the forest. So she went, and sure enough, she found the house. And it was a regular looking house. She looked, she said, wonder why mother didn't want me to come here. There's nothing wrong with this house. And a lady came out and she said, Little girl, what are you doing in the middle of the forest? And the little girl said, Playing. And the woman said, You are far away from your home because there are no homes close here. You better go back home. And the little girl said, I don't want to go back home yet. And the lady says, Well, you can come and visit, but before you come and visit, you have to promise me you won't laugh at anything that you see. And the little girl said, Won't laugh? All right, I promise I won't laugh. So the little girl walked up the 3 steps to the woman's porch, and before she could even have a seat, she saw a cat. And she said, Oh, you have a cat. And she went over to rub the cat. And just as she touched the cat went moo. And the little girl jumped back. She said, Your cat, what's wrong with it? It moves like a cow. And the woman said, Maybe I shouldn't have you visit. You broke your promise already. You promised not to laugh at anything that you see. And the girl said, Oh, okay, I won't laugh. I won't laugh anymore at anything that I see. So the woman was beginning to get frustrated because she could see how this was going to go. So she told the little girl, Come on, have a seat. I'll go and get us something to drink. And the little girl sat down and she looked at the cat. And then all of a sudden a dog walked up. And she said, Ooh, a dog. Come here, fella, come here. And she reached out to rub the dog, and the dog went, buck, 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 buck. The little girl rolled with laughter. And the lady came out the door, and she said, What is it? What is it? What's wrong with you, child? And the little girl said, Your dog. He cackles like a chicken. And the lady said, Maybe I should just send you home. You don't keep your promises. And the little girl said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And the lady said, I don't know. Maybe I should send you home. And the little girl, Please don't send me home. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Please don't send me home. Do you have something to eat? And the lady took a breath. And she took the child into her home. And she said, I will fix you some soup. And so the girl said, Okay, I like soup. And the lady said, But you have to help me. And the girl said, All right, I can help. And the lady said, Fill that pot that's on the fire with water. So the girl poured the water into the pot, and the pot sizzled because it was already heated. And the woman gave the girl an old white bone. Nothing was really on it, But the woman told the little girl, drop this bone into the pot. And the girl said, there's no meat on this bone. And the lady said, oh, just do what I asked you to do. So the girl dropped the bone into the pot. And the lady said, stir the pot. And the girl stood there and she said, what? What is wrong with you, lady? There's nothing in the pot to stir. I put the water in. I put that old bone in. And the lady said, oh my goodness, you have no manners. Just do what I asked you to do. Stir the pot. So the little girl stirred the pot, but all while she was stirring it, she sucked her teeth. Then she began to talk under her breath. I told her I was hungry. She knows that I'm hungry. She must not have anything here to eat. Maybe I should have gone home. And the lady said, little girl, change your attitude. The soup is done. And the girl said, what do you mean the soup is done, lady? I put in the water. I put in that old bone that you asked me to. There's no soup. I need more than just water and an old bone. And the lady said, oh my goodness, I think I have had enough. Come and sit down, child. Come and sit down. So the little girl went and sat down at the table. And the lady went to the pot, and she took 2 bowls. And once she had filled up the bowls with the delicious soup and placed it in front of the girl was amazed because her bowl had meat and potatoes. It had vegetables, green beans, zucchini. It had delicious soup. It was a bowl of deliciousness. So the girl ate it. She says, I don't know how you did this, lady. This was delicious. And the lady said, and now it's too dark for you to go home. You can't go through the woods in the dark. You'll never find your way home. I guess you will have to spend the night. So the little girl said, yes, I am sleepy. Where can I sleep? And the lady said, I guess you will have to sleep on the couch. And she said, you know what, child? I don't think you're all bad. You just have some tweaks you need to do. You need to listen more. And you need to follow directions. She said, so I'm going to give you another chance. And the girl said, all right. She said, in the back, in my chicken coop, there is a chicken, one chicken, and that chicken is laying eggs. Now, that chicken lays 2 different kinds of eggs. She lays pretty eggs, beautiful eggs. They have jewels on them, pearls and diamonds. They're colorful, beautiful eggs. And then she lays some eggs that don't look very appealing. They aren't the best of colors. Some of them are dark. Some of them aren't even really shaped like a regular egg. They're abnormal. No one would really want them. But those are the ones you need to take. Take those, and you can take 3. As you walk, I want you to drop one. Once you count 5 steps, drop an egg, and you'll get a beautiful surprise. So the girl laid down to sleep. She tossed and she turned and she turned and she tossed until she could stand it no more. She got up just before daybreak, before the lady awoke, and she grabbed the basket that the lady told her to put the eggs in. And how many eggs could she take? 3. And what was she supposed to do? Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and drop an egg. So she headed out to the chicken coop. There was the one chicken. There were the beautiful eggs, and there were the not so pretty eggs. And she thought, if I'm going to get a beautiful surprise from an ugly egg, what beautiful surprise would I get from a pretty egg? So the little girl grabbed all the beautiful eggs. more than 3. And she wasn't supposed to do that. So again, she wasn't being a good listener. Wonder what was going to happen to her. Oh my goodness. She started on the path. She started on the path home. And she said, 5 steps indeed. 1, 2, 3. She threw her egg down and it broke right there on the path. But this big green monster came out and she said, "Oh, you're not a beautiful thing." And she started to run and she said, "Oh, that just must have been a bad egg." And she ran as fast as she could heading home. She said, 1, 2, 3. And she dropped another egg. She says, "Oh my goodness, you're not a beautiful thing." For there was another monster of a different color slithering towards her. And she says, "No, no, no." So she ran further and she said, "Those must have been 2 bad eggs." And she dropped more eggs as she started on her path, but things just became worse and worse till she threw the basket down. And she saw her house and she ran inside. Her mother was crying. Her mother said, "Where have you been? I've been looking for you all night." And the little girl said, "I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry. I didn't listen when you told me not to leave the yard. And I went into the forest and I met a lady and she gave me some directions too and I didn't listen. Oh, Mommy, I'm so sorry." And the mother said, "This is what I talk to you about all of the time. You have to listen." Then there was a knock at the door. It was the lady from the forest. She had come to the little girl's house, which was right across from her forest. And she knew that was the little girl's house because there was her basket lying on the ground right in front of the little girl's door. She knocked at the door, and the mother opened the door, and the lady introduced herself, and she said, "I just wanted to make sure that your child made it home safely. She spent the night with me, but she left before I woke up this morning." And so the mother invited her in. The lady looked at the little girl and she said, "You didn't do what I asked you to do. Which eggs did I ask you to take?" And the little girl said, "The ugly eggs. You said beautiful things would happen, but ugly things happened." And the lady said, "Which eggs did you take, dear?" And the girl said, "Well, I took the beautiful eggs, the most beautiful eggs, and I thought the most beautiful thing would happen for me." And the lady said, "Come outside. Come outside. Here's an ugly egg. I brought it for you. Throw it down on the ground." And when the little girl dropped the egg on the ground, the most beautiful dress appeared. And the lady said, "Good things happen when we listen and follow directions."